In this video, I will give you some of the most important clock management tips you can apply to your game here in Madden 24. From stopping the clock from running down to utilizing a time glitch to give yourself more time. I'll even give you examples from the pros and recent belt winners such as Henry, Cobo, and John Beast. Proper clock management is one of the skills that separate decent to good players from the great to pro level players. Adding these tips to your game can make a huge difference and give you more possessions than your opponent, causing you to win more games. Now, without further ado, let's begin.
Motherfucker, I've been mortified, 45, feeling like a Mordecai. I ain't regular, feel like Jordan wearing 45. Traumatized, victimized, seen some of my niggas die. Knock you off a base with a bat when them niggas slide. Homicide, genocide, televised, emphasize, perpetuating war. Tell that nigga he gon' pick a side. Hood ties from hood lines, now niggas doing dope lines. I'm running to the cops, that's a bitch, nigga exercise.
YouTube, alright, I'm gonna kick this thing off with showing you how to give yourself more time at the play call screen when you're trying to set your defensive adjustments and make your subs. Right before this clock hits 0, if you pause the game, when you resume, you'll be given an additional 15 seconds to make your defensive substitutions and set your audibles. Tip number 2, slowing down the runoff that happens when you select your play before the 20-second mark. A lot of people don't know, even if you go out of bounds, if you pick your play before the 20-second mark on the play clock, the game clock will run down until there's exactly 20 seconds left on the play clock. Now, if you're playing MUT, it's 15 seconds. If you find yourself behind in the game and you need more time, if you get out of bounds, you want to wait until the 20-second mark before picking your play to limit how much time will come off of the game clock. These 10, 20, 30 seconds matter in the end of the game if you're going to make a last-minute money drive. Knowing this tip can be the difference between having 40 seconds to score at the end of the game versus just having like 10 or 15. Here's a great example here. As we can see, Henry is behind in this game, and when he makes it out of bounds, he waits to pick his play until the 15-second mark so he can limit the time that's being ran off of the game clock. Take a look. These are the little things that a lot of casual players don't really see, and it makes a huge difference in the game. Once again here, take a look. Knowing that if he was to come back in this game, it would probably be on a last-minute drive, and he's already thinking that, and he's saving himself as much time as possible for that last-minute money drive. Now, on the flip side of things, if you're in Cobo position, you want to do the total opposite. You want to drain as much of this clock as possible. You don't want to give Henry any attempt to make a comeback. So you really don't want to be looking to snap the ball until you're under like 3 to 5 seconds on each play. When you have a multiple possession lead in the second half, you have to have the mentality of keeping your foot on your opponent's neck. You want them to not have to just battle you, but the clock as well. Being on the opposite side of this is one of the most frustrating positions to be in, because It's hard enough to stop your opponent, but then you're watching the clock just tick down, and you know your chances of winning is fading away with that clock. On to the next tip, throwing the ball away. If you're trying to preserve time and you don't have a route worth throwing to, just throw the ball away and save the clock. It is important to make sure you are outside of the tackle box before throwing the ball away. If not, you're putting yourself at risk to get an intentional grounding penalty, which can destroy your drive. To throw the ball away, you want to click in the right stick. So you want to scramble outside of the tackle box and click in the right stick to get rid of the ball. If you do it within the pocket, you're putting yourself at risk for a penalty. Now, if you're inside of the 10, you don't have to roll out because you can throw the ball out of the back of the end zone without the risk of getting the intentional grounding penalty. Now, if you're in the lead and you want to keep the clock ticking, you don't want to throw the ball away if nobody's open. In this case, you just want to fall with your quarterback. This is not the same as just taking the sack to keep the clock running because you will put yourself at risk for a fumble. With this, just give yourself up and go on to the next down. Keep the clock running. Here in this example, I'm going to show you something that John Beast did. You see there's 30 seconds left on the clock, but he sees Gabagool has 2 timeouts, so he's in no hurry to score here. He wants to make sure that he takes these timeouts with him so he will not have a chance to answer back after he scores. You always want to have the last possession of the half and the last possession of the game. Now this is in the same game, 4th quarter. You see the clock, we're under 2 minutes and he's down. But he's not going out of bounds because he wants to keep that clock ticking. He wants it to keep moving forward and he needs Gabagool to use these timeouts so he won't have a chance to answer back if John Beast does score on this drive. You see John Beast did not snap the ball until it was 1 second left on the play clock. And he goes down versus going out of bounds, and you see immediately Gabagool uses his timeout. Most unexperienced players would panic because they're down and try to hurry up and score, and they'll end up giving their opponent a chance to answer back and they'll lose the game. John Beast is in perfect position. 20 seconds left, he'll have the ball last. Gabagool has no timeouts, so the game is in his hands. Now, if you didn't see this full game, I highly suggest you go take a look at it. With that being said, this is my top tips on managing the clock and becoming a better Madden player. With that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe for great Madden content all year round.